Hey guys, Coffin here to do a video that I am not looking forward to doing. I actually made this video earlier today and it was like 11-12 minutes long, and I'm deciding to redo it for reasons. The first reason being I did it earlier outside in my backyard because I didn't want this junk behind me. But there were a lot of noises and people working on things, and I watched some snippets of what I recorded, and I didn't think it was well. It wasn't what I wanted to post. So let's jump in. I guess first I'll say this. My introduction to Carrie Fisher was Star Wars. At a really young age, I was introduced to A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and we didn't own the movies for the longest time. I always tell the story to my friends, and I'll share it on here now. My cousins had the trilogy on VHS tape, and they copied me Return of the Jedi onto tape, and so that's all I had for the longest time, and so I ran Return of the Jedi into the ground, just nonstop. I loved Luke Skywalker. I loved his black suit. I loved the green lightsaber. And it wasn't until a few years later when they started, or quite a few years later, I guess, when they started playing them on TV. Like, I remember when ABC played A New Hope one time, and that's when I really remember seeing that. And I remember either just after or just before Phantom Menace came out, they re-released A New Hope, in theaters, and my dad took me and my sister to go see that, and seeing A New Hope in the theater was awesome. So, Star Wars has always been a part of my life. I'm wearing the shirts, I got the hat, I've shot glass, my sister's got this for me. It's just always been there, So, needless to say, Carrie Fisher was Princess Leia. And I don't care what anyone else says, but no one else could have done that role justice like she did. She gave the character the tenacity that she needed to have, and the feminine nature that she needed to have. She was everything she needed to be. But when you're younger, you don't really think about the people behind the role too much. It wasn't until I got into middle school when I really started to dig into, behind the scenes and stuff like that. For a long time, George Lucas was my favorite director, because of how much I loved Star Wars. I talked about him all the time. I did school papers on him and Spielberg, and I even think I did one on Tarantino, but that's beside the point. I didn't go to bed until late last night or Monday night. So I slept in because I don't have anything going on this week, so I have the luxury of being able to sleep in, and so I slept in until 12. I think it was 12:15. I woke up, and I got a text from a friend of mine, asking me, "Did you hear the news about Carrie Fisher?" And my heart sank because I hadn't, but I knew, and I opened up Twitter. I opened up my IMDb app on my phone, and there it was, remembering Carrie Fisher. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried a lot. I couldn't hold it in. Every new tweet that I saw people reading, I just lost it. I couldn't handle it. I was planning on posting a couple videos today, but in the wake of her death, I couldn't do it. I was gonna make my top 10 movies of the year list, and I couldn't do it. I've been a wreck. But I watched some YouTube videos. I kind of hung out. I did a lot of reading about Carrie Fisher. I made quite a few Instagram posts, as you can see if you follow my Instagram. But I went and I made the video that I made earlier talking about this, and I was fine. After I did the video, and by fine, I mean I was collected. I didn't feel like I was gonna bust out in tears, I'm by no means numb or anything like that, but I felt like I was in control of my emotions again. I wasn't gonna but she is one of those actresses for me that you don't realize how much you love them or you respect them until it's too late. Because you don't think that anything like this is going to happen, after Disney bought Lucasfilm, and the announcement was made about Star Wars, or Disney bought Star Wars. I don't think they bought Lucasfilm, but they bought I immediately started watching old Celebration interviews with all of the cast members, Ian McDermott, Mark Hamill, and of course Carrie Fisher was in the midst. And I don't talk about this on here a lot for a lot of obvious reasons, but also just personal reasons. I don't want this channel to become a channel about this, but I've hinted at this, and I think I've mentioned it in a video or two, but I've had my own struggle with addiction and my own past that's kind of landed me where I'm at in life right now, and that's kind of where I'll leave it. And knowing how much she has fought through the things in her life that she's fought through, and seeing her be as heartwarming and loving and funny and witty and all those things that she is, while I don't deal with mental illness at all, it still gives me hope, that, I'll get better someday and I'll be where I want to be because I see her and I see where she's at. But and then knowing how she was a script doctor and how she wrote scripts and fixed scripts, and the fact that she has ties to so many movies that I love, not to mention Hook, which is one of my favorite. And it's funny because I remember her name popping up on the credits, but I guess growing up I never really put two and two together, that it's the same Carrie Fisher, but it is, and but today kind of sucked, and then my dad and we went and saw Rogue One because he hadn't seen it yet, and we went and saw it in 3D, which, if anyone's curious, you don't really need to go see it in 3D in my opinion, but I loved seeing the movie again. And spoilers, when Leia pops up at the end, even though I knew it was coming, it did warm me a little bit to even though it was digitally and it wasn't really her, but it wasn't. It was good to see her face. And I came home and I watched the editorial video that John Campea did about her passing, and it broke me. And I'm kind of in that shattered place again, I don't feel like I'm on the verge of bursting into tears, but I'm definitely heartbroken. And there's only been 2 other celebrity deaths that have hit me like this. The first being Robin Williams. I didn't make a video about it when he died because I wasn't back on YouTube yet, but when he died, Robin Williams was a person a lot like Carrie Fisher that was in my household ever since I was a kid. His movies were always there, whether it was Mrs. Doubtfire, Hook, anything, anything and everything. I mean, Aladdin, him as the genie. And it took me months to get over him. Also this year, losing David Bowie. David Bowie meant things to me that people in my life probably don't get or understand. The thing that drew me to him was how different he was and how unafraid of being himself he was. And a lot like that, you could say that about Carrie Fisher. She was who she was, and that's what made her beautiful, was that she wasn't afraid of being honest. And I think we can learn a lot about life from her. How to treat other people, how to live life to the fullest. I haven't read any of her, memoirs or any of the books about her. I haven't seen the movie that's about her or anything like that. But the little bit that I've learned from, watching different interviews with her and different things like that, and reading some of the articles that I've read today about her and hearing some of the things that other people have said about her, I feel confident in saying that she did live her life to the fullest, unabashedly, and we each need to learn how to get to that place where we aren't so focused about what other people think and what they say or any of that. Because look, you know, and here it comes. Yeah, this one's a hard one, and this is a lot longer than I anticipated it being. I don't really have much more to say other than that. Those are the thoughts that are running through my head. You know, I'm not gonna monetize this video or anything like that. You know, I just, for me, I promised myself a long time ago that any video like this, like a serious video, you know, I don't care about having ads on it or anything like that, because that's not what this is about. This is just me voicing what I feel and what I think, and you guys are more than welcome to join in and say what she meant to you down in the comments below. I guess the last thing I'll say is the thing that gives me comfort is knowing that she's in paradise, and knowing that alongside her is a wizard, a droid, and an Imperial Admiral. Yeah. Sir Alec Guinness, Kenny Baker, and Peter Cushing. And now, Carrie Fisher. Well, that's an interesting thought. So, yeah. I will try to post some videos later in the week. I'll probably I'll probably be doing some, so be on the lookout. But yeah, I don't know what time they'll be up or anything like that. Yeah, guys, like I said before, I don't really have much more to say, so I just send my love and my prayers out to her family. That's really my main thoughts. I'm sure there's some people out there that are worried about Star Wars and what happens next, but I don't really care at this point. You know, if Disney announced tomorrow that they're gonna have to scrap everything that they filmed for episode 8, or they're not doing episode 9 anymore, or something like that, I wouldn't be fazed. It's not even, it's not even, because it's going to be a while before I get over this. And by over this, I mean just not be heartbroken anymore. Because there are still days where if I see someone say something about Robin Williams, or if I watch certain movies of his, it'll hit me. And I know it'll be the same with her. It's going to take time. But, as the old adage goes, time heals all wounds. So let this process begin. Rest in peace, Carrie. You are absolutely missed. And may the force be with you, always.